A man was fixing things around his home when his phone suddenly rang. Someone walking near an empty building had spotted a scared mama cat with her kittens and called for help. The person told the man about a skinny cat hiding under a tree with tiny kittens crying nearby. When he got there, he saw the mama cat sitting in the shade of a big tree. She looked thin and dirty, clearly having a hard time finding food while taking care of her babies. On the ground near her, a tiny kitten was crying with soft, weak meows. The man could hear more little meows coming from different spots, but couldn't see where they were all hiding. The man walked slowly toward the cat and gently picked up the crying kitten. The mama cat just watched without making a sound or moving. This seemed odd to the man. Most mother cats would get upset if someone touched their baby. The man put the kitten in a safe spot and began looking around more carefully. Following the sounds of weak meowing, he searched through the tall grass and under bushes. After looking everywhere, he found 4 more kittens. They were very young, just a few weeks old, with open eyes but wobbly legs. They were crawling on the ground, crying for their mother with tiny voices that made the man feel sad. One by one, he picked up each kitten carefully. Their fur was dirty and some had crusty eyes, showing they needed help soon. He put them together in a soft carrier he had brought. The kittens snuggled together for warmth, their little bodies shaking despite the warm day. Now came the hard part, rescuing the mama cat. The man put on thick gloves, knowing that scared cats often scratch because they're afraid, not because they're mean. He tried to get close to the mama cat, talking softly, but she kept backing away, hissing with her tail all puffed up. He tried several times to get close enough to pick her up, but each time she would hiss, swat at him, and run a short distance away. After many failed tries, the man sat down to think about what to do next. He couldn't leave her behind. The kittens needed their mother, and she needed help too. Then he remembered the cat treats in his bag. He took out a tube of creamy cat treats that most cats love. He squeezed some onto a leaf, placed it on the ground, and moved back to give the mama cat space. At first, she just watched from far away, her nose twitching at the smell of food. Soon, hunger won over fear, and she slowly crept forward, keeping her eyes on the man the whole time. When she reached the leaf, she quickly ate the creamy treat. The man waited until she finished and then offered more, this time a little closer to himself. He also put down some wet cat food he had brought. The mama cat ate everything hungrily, showing she hadn't had good food in a long time. While she was busy eating, the man moved a bit closer. He kept doing this, offering food, moving closer, offering more food, until he was finally close enough to reach her. With one smooth, gentle movement, he picked her up and held her securely. She tried to get away at first, but he held her firmly, yet carefully, making sure not to hurt her. At home, the man had already thought about where to put the cats. He had a spare bathroom that would make a perfect temporary home for the family. It was warm, quiet, and easy to clean, all important for young kittens. First, he made a soft bed for the mama cat in one corner. He put fresh water, a clean litter box, and more food nearby where she could easily reach them. For the kittens, he made a cozy nest box in another corner of the same room. He lined it with soft blankets and put a heating pad set on low under one side of the blanket. This way, the kittens could move toward or away from the heat as needed. The man carefully placed all 4 kittens in this nest, checking each one. They seemed tired but alert, which was a good sign. The man decided not to put the kittens next to their mother right away. He knew the mama cat was still very stressed from being rescued and brought to a new place. Cats need time to get used to new surroundings, and forcing her to be with her kittens while she was still scared might stress her even more. The kittens were safe in their warm nest, and the mama cat could see and smell them from across the room. Throughout the evening, the man checked on the cat family often. Each time he went into the room, he brought the mama cat more treats and fresh food, always moving slowly and speaking softly. At first, she would hiss and hide in the farthest corner when he came in, but after several visits, she began to watch him with curiosity instead of just fear. She still wouldn't let him touch her, but she would eat while he was in the room, a small but important sign of progress. The man noticed that the mama cat kept looking at her kittens, clearly knowing where they were. Sometimes she would pace back and forth, seeming torn between her fear of the new place and her need to care for her babies. The man knew he needed to be patient. Pushing them together too soon could cause problems, but waiting too long wasn't good for the kittens either. He decided to give her overnight to settle in, hoping that by morning she would be calm enough to safely be with her babies again. Before going to bed, the man checked on the family one last time. The kittens were sleeping peacefully in their nest, their tiny chests moving up and down as they breathed. The mama cat was lying in her bed, still watchful but not as tense as before. She had eaten most of the food he had left for her, another good sign. Seeing the family back together made the man feel proud, but he knew this was just the beginning. The whole family needed to see a vet for checkups. The kittens needed to be checked for worms, which are common in outdoor kittens. The mama cat needed to be examined too, and eventually fixed when the kittens were older. The man made a mental note to call the vet soon to make appointments. Looking at the little family that evening, the kittens tumbling over each other in play and the mama cat watching proudly like any mother, the man felt the special happiness that came with every successful rescue. From fear to safety, from danger to security, their journey together had only just begun. But the hardest part was over. They were now on the path to better lives, lives where they would know kindness, comfort, and care instead of hunger, fear, and loneliness. The man thought about when he got that phone call, how different things might have been if the person walking by hadn't noticed the cat family, or if they hadn't bothered to call for help. So many stray cats went unnoticed every day, struggling to survive and often dying. This mama cat and her kittens were the lucky ones, and the man was glad to be part of their story. As he quietly closed the door that night, leaving the family to rest, the man made a silent promise to them. As long as they were in his care, they would never know cruelty or being abandoned again. Whatever happened next, whether finding them new homes or keeping them himself, he would make sure they had good lives, because every animal deserves a chance at happiness, and giving them that chance felt better than anything else in the world.